And we begin tonight at 6 with breaking news. It looks like the state of Indiana will not redraw its congressional districts.
This after months of pressure to do so from the White House. 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker joins us live here in studio with the details that broke just this afternoon. Emily.
Yeah, guys, Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray said today in a statement that the Senate simply did not have the votes to support redistricting. That announcement comes after what Bray called, quote, very serious and thoughtful consideration over the last several months. We know during that time, Senate Republicans had a call with President Donald Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance also came to Indiana twice to discuss redistricting with lawmakers. In his statement today, Bray said the Senate will not reconvene in December. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for House Republicans reiterated today that they do have the votes to support redistricting, but did not answer a question about whether House Republicans would meet. Now, some of Indiana's congressional delegation is reacting tonight, including Democratic Congressman Andre Carson. He holds one of the two Democratic seats the redistricting effort was targeting. I just spoke with Congressman Carson via Zoom about today's announcement that the Senate didn't have the votes to support redistricting.
It's not one person who made this happen. It's the people who made this happen. But, you know, these efforts work because it's not about trying to convince Hoosiers to believe in something they don't believe in. It was about showing up and showing that mid-districting goes against Hoosier values. Hoosiers value independence. That's what we're about. We value fairness, we value free thinking, and we don't take orders from Washington, D.C.
Republican Congresswoman Victoria Spartz also offering her thoughts on today's announcement. Spartz posted on X today, quote, the Indiana Senate GOP should not be hiding behind closed doors, but putting their votes on the board. Hoosiers deserve transparency. Voters should know whether their senators stand with President Trump or with the New York and California socialists destroying our country. Governor Mike Braun also weighed in, saying in a statement, quote, I called for our legislators to convene to ensure Hoosiers' voices in Washington, D.C. are not diluted by the Democrats' gerrymandering. Our state senators need to do the right thing and show up to vote for fair maps. Hoosiers deserve to know where their elected officials stand on important issues. Now, today I spoke to Republican Senator Jean Leising hours before Senator Bray made this announcement. She came out earlier this week saying publicly she was a no on redistricting. And she said, guys, that the reason that was that her constituents just didn't support it. And also she says she hasn't seen a map to even consider. She said also that she felt that Rod Bray had been a really fair leader in this situation and really let each of the Republican senators come to their own conclusions and make their own decisions about this.
Yeah, so he's the leader of the Senate, but
Right.
It does sound like in that statement that came from the governor today that he wants to kind of keep the issue in the forefront and keep the discussion going. Doesn't sound like he's given up.
It doesn't sound like it.
No.
So
All
We'll
right.
see what happens.
we will.
Emily, thank you. Skies are clear and temperatures are warm for mid-November on this Friday evening. 65 Carmel, 63 Morris Reservoir. We have 63 in Crawfordsville and 65 degrees in Greensburg. Evening temperatures will stay in the 60s despite the fact that the sun is down on this Friday night. We'll drop into the 50s by around 8, 9 o'clock, and it's going to be very mild overnight with low temperatures close to the average high. Near record warmth tomorrow to start the weekend. We'll end the weekend with some sunshine, cooler on Sunday, 53. Tonight at 6 o'clock, changes could be coming to an intersection that's on the near south side of Indianapolis.
Safe Streets Indy has called it a crash hotspot. We're talking about the intersection of Shelby and Raymond on the near south side of Indy.
Jenna Webster looking into the data at that intersection and the recommendations that the city is now making to change it.
Every day we get closer to Saturday, I get more and more worked up.
Just this week, we introduced you to the Gillard family. The man in the middle, Jeffrey Gillard, will be taken off life support Saturday after he was hit while walking to the bus stop. It happened at the Shelby and Raymond Streets intersection.
That corner needs to be safer. There's too many people getting hit.
After our story aired with their calls for safety changes, we received the city's road safety audit for that intersection. It says the city analyzed fatal and incapacitating injury crashes between March and April this year and found that intersection to be the highest crash location. It then looked at data from June 2022 to June 2025. 102 crashes at that intersection, though none fatal, and only one involved a pedestrian. About a third of the crashes were caused by a failure to yield right away. A quarter because someone was following too closely.
How are drivers behaving? How are pedestrians behaving? How really is it being used? And so we're getting eyes on the situation to figure out an even deeper level of what is occurring here.
Kyle Bloyd with DPW says a team spent the day watching the intersection, then put together a list of 11 near-term fixes, including extending the time for red lights and converting some left turn signals to protected only. Another is installing speed limit signs and having crosswalk signals that turn every signal cycle, even if someone didn't push it. 5 long-term recommendations involve larger turning areas and traffic lights that help drivers focus on the correct signal.
And it's not really a stop-finish, it's a moving thing where we're trying to implement these things, see if they work.
But the city says their safety changes can only go so far.
Don't run red lights, don't drive distracted. Pedestrians, please use the push buttons, please cross when you've got the right-of-way as well. It's really on all of us to try to keep the collective us safe.
In Indianapolis, Jenna Webster, 13 News.
Now, DPW told Jenna that the near-term fixes have all been submitted, but they're not sure when the work orders will be completed. Also, they did not provide a timeline for those long-term recommendations either. The long-term changes are estimated to cost about $300,000. To the northwest side in Boone County tonight, where a stretch of I-65 just reopened within the last 2 hours tonight after a deadly noon-hour crash there.
That crash left an Indiana National Guardsman dead and 3 others injured. All of this unfolding along southbound 65 near 865. A spokesperson for the Indiana National Guard has been telling us that group was heading to Camp Atterbury for some drills.
Right now, we're still working to confirm the identity of the 1 guardsman who died and also who were the 3 who were injured. Tonight, police have yet to release the conditions of those 3 who survived.
A surprise plea deal today in the trial of a Missouri man charged with driving into the path of State Trooper Aaron Smith and killing him.
Our Rich Nye explains why the murder charge was dismissed in this case and now how long Eddie Jones will be in prison.
Eddie Jones was 18 years old in June 2023, behind the wheel of his mom's stolen car. He led police on a chase that ended with Jones turning into the path of State Trooper Aaron Smith as he tried to deploy stop sticks. A Hendricks County jury was expected to deliberate a verdict Friday, but instead, Jones took a plea deal with a 50-year sentence, 40 years in prison, plus 10 years probation. Jones pleaded guilty to resisting law enforcement causing death, attempted aggravated battery, and attempted battery with a deadly weapon. Trooper Smith was 33 years old.
I just wanted to thank the team that put together a good ending, and my family and I are satisfied with the results. Though we miss Aaron, he was a great police officer.
If a jury had convicted Jones of murder, the prosecutor was seeking a life sentence without parole. Jones will return to the Hendricks County Courthouse in January for formal sentencing. In Danville, Rich Nye, 13 News.